closer. No time to be sober, sunshine on my shoulders. I'm alive and breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind and it's making it high.
Beach action in front of us, the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2023 here in Royan, France. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside Stef Pazzo, who is receiving un petit bisou from our pal and commentary friend Charlotte Terrasson, who's just arrived under the bright sun here on the beach. It's Saturday and it is hotting up. We are getting our final games here in the women's division, trying to fight for that placement into the quarter-finals. Of course, both these two pools in the women's division are advancing through, and we have Bordeaux Ultimate against Fly High Lausanne, who are hoping that they might grab themselves wins here. Bordeaux made some moves in early pool stages, besting E6 in sudden death. A Universe Point finished 10-9 over the folks sitting pretty in the top of this pool. But at the moment, Bordeaux are hoping that Yaka will carry a loss in the final round of games and they will snag a win here over the Swiss Ultimate team. Looking at the two rosters, we have plenty of legs available for your delectation. But Stefan, what are your expectations coming into this match?
Well, knowing what's at stake here, Bordeaux Ultimate need a win, they need a result in another game, and they need a margin. So what I am expecting is for them to come out firing. They're going to need to score in droves. They're going to need a big separation. So they know that Lausanne has struggled. Hopefully they've done a little bit of scouting and found out some of their areas of weakness, found out what they've struggled at to see if they can exploit that to their own benefit. But they will be doing everything possible to open up a lead and maintain. If they get into a shootout, if they get into a back and forth battle, that really does favor Lausanne at this stage, even if they're trading from behind. So knowing what Bordeaux needs, they're going to have to come out with a whole lot of energy to start this game.
Absolutely. Looking at the top of the stats boards across this tournament for Bordeaux, look out for the likes of Coralie Fouquet, Zoe Forget, unforgettable, Perrine Bertaudeau, and Florence Carriarol currently in front and leading the charge for Bordeaux in the success they've been enjoying so far this tournament. But of course, we've got two French-speaking nations. Of course, Swiss also speaks their variant of German, but we have some French commentary. So if you are a francophone, make sure you switch over to the other stream and check out the action coming out from Anaïs and fellow commentator
Lucas. The two of them doing a great job. We will be running the French commentary for all of the games with French teams and then the finals as well, making sure that we have as many linguistic options for those of you at home that prefer to listen in your native tongue of French. And we want to improve that all the time. It's a great moment to remind the people at home to like and subscribe and become patrons, because the more we have to work with, the more we're able to dish back out to you, and the more options you, the viewers, get to watch and consume this Ultimate in as many fashions as possible.
Yeah, we are 0% about getting super bougie benefits, although it has to be said, BULA put on an absolutely fabulous affair every time we cover the tournaments that they put on. We are cited, of course, for the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships, which the first of its kind will be happening next season. But at the moment, it is all about these final placement games. We'll talk a bit about how these pools are shaking out, but certainly ones to watch for Fly High. Eloise Ouvry is currently leading the stats charge, Florence Windler and Cynthia Douce. So it's going to be Bordeaux to get us underway on offense. They're going to need a heckin' flawless performance, being mindful of their goals difference and, of course, getting the win in this game. And it's an early doors layout grab for Lise Labbé. Cochet looking a little bit frantic, but finds the reset. Dena. No. Moves it forward. Karailol. Stall count rising. This is relatively static movement from the downfield. Not really anybody charging into that end zone. Just playing the small ball and keeping the disc gently moving. Trying to hit that around. Continuation is there. It's a required big grab. Lucina. Big grab. A high one. Well kept though, because it's on the break side, exploiting around the mark. And that's the first goal and a hold. Nice and easy does it for Bordeaux.
Easy does it. Good bit of patience there to get that one in. They went through a lot of hands. 9 passes. I mean, not a marathon of a point by any stretch, but efficient enough. One layout that was a bit too far ahead, a possession saver. That was a great pass, a great catch in the middle of that point. But Bordeaux does the job, puts a point on the board, early hold, and establishes a small lead to start this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Not firm favourites coming into this tournament with Bordeaux. And as I say, we had a bit of an up and down set of games. They had a really tight one in their win against E6, so found some form there. But Fly High Lausanne not managed to snag themselves any wins so far in the tournament. But let's see what they can do with the disc in their hands.
Oh.
That one's going to rise up and be taken away by the wind and the hands of Clémentine Bon. He shoots it deep and away.
A pair of turnovers there gives the second chance to Lausanne to hold. And a second chance to break now.
Yeah, trying to connect with Mathilde Durand, but that one just a bit too far. So much better one out the blocks for Clémentine Bon. Berthaud with a foul call. Matou immediately accepts. This in the Ados immediately accepts. Yeah, just a little swipe through there, strip call. So looking around for options, this is good. Close defense, that one's gonna be taken away very well. Good read. Subi Kwelaka. Line is called. That's going to be a sky ball underneath it. Big collision. A Lausanne sandwich.
A lot of body contact there from all sides. I'm not sure where initiation came from, but doesn't matter. Counts as a turnover.
Yeah, good to have a little bit of discussion there, but the off the fingertips of Windler. Just not enough space to hustle under the disc with everybody trying to have a go at it. That's a big shot though, nice and deep. And the first break to Bordeaux collected by Zoe Forget. Second score so far.
Looked like that was Berthaud with the assist there. A bit of a grinder point there. You see the scoring sequence now again on replay. And indeed, it was a nice throw to finish on, yeah, a bit of grinding there for Bordeaux. They gave it away. They got it back. They gave it away. They got it back. They gave it back. That was a Lausanne offense. It was their point to take. So right now, this is exactly what Bordeaux needs. Do it one way or the other, but they are doing nothing but scoring right now.
So Lausanne with the disc, fly high into the sky. That disc is going to do exactly that, but it's going to trail over the heads of both players. Just curling into the sand in a way neither expected. Odile André trying to be on the end of that one, but that was a really great bit of catch up from the defense.
Yeah, good job by Carayol. I love the hat chuck to make sure her hat brim's not getting in the way.
Dumas centering. Carayol just going to ground to make sure. Good movement up line. Again, oh, good switching actually upfield from the defense of Fly High Lausanne. Perhaps one of the keys that's allowing them to shut down the options. It's a high stall, chuck it in hope, disc in the air, underneath it, Carayol with the read. Well, Bordeaux finding themselves with a little bit of luck, but that one's going to escape the grasp of Pauline Dumas.
And Carayol did everything she could to collect that deep, was the last player back behind the pack, did well to read it, and then that's the preservation we've spoken about many times. Throws it just a bit too far beyond and causes the turnover, but they're getting another chance immediately, Hanny.
They absolutely are, popping it around the back very nicely. Give go to Carayol, has the momentum, throws a break around. Love it. Oh, slinky inside, flat as a pancake, serves into the chest of Carayol for the goal. And that's a third break in a row for Bordeaux. Tell you what, but they know exactly what they need to do in this game, Stefan.
Well, they were listening to my advice off the top. Surely they were tuned in for just a second before this started. Or maybe they actually looked at the bracket themselves and knew exactly what the task ahead entailed. And it's tough to know that you got to blow a team out. It's so much easier said than done. No matter how much, to be a better team than somebody, you can be a much better team and still win a game by 1 or 2 or 3 points. Even if the bracket has gone dramatically different and score lines of common opponents have shown greater separation. To know that that's what you can do, for your opponent to know that's what they've got to avoid. Very difficult to actually make it happen, but looking good thus far.
Up line, disc again. These fly high throws are very sort of lofty, sitting and hanging in the breeze. We've got an accepted foul. Get another look at that battle.
Yeah, the foul was between the 88 shirt of Bordeaux. That's Michaud. But it was Fouquet who got the D. So Fouquet is wondering, well, I didn't touch you and I got that D.
Well, I guess there's the idea that perhaps that Subi Quelca didn't manage to kind of extend to her full potential height. That was a disc that sat really quite high and hung for quite a while. I think Fouquet probably would have had a decent chance at getting the defense sort of irrespective, but
it's a tough, that's, I think, it's a, I
would prefer to see that disc go back. It wasn't a great execution. It was a bit of a weird one. I'd be very happy for that to return to the thrower and kind of say, have another go.
I do agree with you.
Last
I also believe that Kuwelker was never going to get there. I think that's tough for her to be convinced of. Maybe if she watched the video again and she realized how much out of reach that disc was, even if her jump wasn't inhibited. But it was inhibited, and what Hannah sought or hoped for has come to fruition, and it's back in the hands of Windler.
Yeah, definitely contact on that one. So there was that foul, but the last piece of uncontested play and a shot straight to the end zone. It was a high stall, I think, anyway, so Windler just had to get rid of the disc. So an opportunity to go 4-0 up. The first women's division game we saw this morning had a very similar start. You'll have to watch that one back, though, to check out the result. It was a good game after that kind of happened initially, but at the moment, Fly High Lausanne putting on great pressure on defense, but not quite putting their bits together and throwing those looser discs. But at the moment, big poach off of Clémentine Bon. Okay. Big around the mark. Momentum is there, but the cut in the end zone is not. Berthaudot is going to put up one that's going to float out of bounds. A little bit hasty.
Yeah, just too far in front. The throw by Bertrandot, even a player as strong as Coralie Fouquet can't catch up and toe drag as well. Coralie Fouquet, of course, one of the members of the French World Games team, an axe of a trainer, and that one gets right past her now.
Absolutely lovely throw from Mathilde Durand. But now Bordeaux trying to apply the trap, just about squeaks it through to Florence Windler. Windler up line, acres of space, another really loose disc, just shy of the goal, but there we have it. Fly High finally put their first point on the board, but tell you what, Stefan, throwing this way into the wind, the Swiss Ultimate ladies are gonna have to be a little bit more conservative with their release points, I think. My nerves are a bit shot.
Oh, geez, even that, the throw to the goal line there, Windler did very good to take that down, but that floated way too long for its own good. If there was any defender in the neighborhood, that would have been a much more difficult task to collect. But I guess, you know, thrower recognized that it was a wide open receiver, so she could afford to put a little bit of float on it. But I reckon if she had that chance again, she might have zipped it just a touch more.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more of a wide pivot, sort of, you know, keeping the tilt of the disc to a minimum, throwing into the wind. That one's just going to sit up on the breeze, though. Big pack underneath it, just about landing in bounds. I love the trust there. Cochet going straight to the end zone, knowing my teammates got that one. I'm going to go give us an opportunity for the score. That one well holstered by Carayol. Oh, swinging all the way around to the bank. Oh, and nearly with the recatch, but good heads-up defense. Conservation of greatness, though, throws it straight past Andre. The lefty. Popping it around the back. Big ripper of that lefty backhand. Going to sail out, though. Hélène Cochet just going to have to watch that one fly out of bounds.
Jenny Vallée let that one go a little bit too far. Put a lot on that. Vallée, of course, the coach, part of the coaching staff from the French mixed team that silver medaled in Győr.
Nice pop in front. Good use of that momentum. Going from the handlers, but Roxanne Barkley, unfortunately, unable to get that low scooping grab. Bordeaux trying to isolate players in front of the handler space. Carayol coming underneath. Addition round, good pops. No. Oh, nice find, but that's going to possibly be a retracted pick call depending on when it was thrown. Does look to be from the movement of the players indeed. Didn't quite get the catch up, so the turnover is Hélène Cochet. Maybe slowed down a little bit there, Stefan. Yeah,
it slowed down a little bit, maybe heard something of a call. If that was the case, she could have let that be known that the pick had affected, but as she didn't, yeah, that throw must have been just a bit too far. As it happens again the other way, Bordeaux get another chance, Hanny.
Oh. Swinging around the back at the moment. Fly High Lausanne aren't able to get more than sort of a third way up the pitch, but at the moment, Bordeaux looking large and in charge. It's a nice idea, but a poor execution from Carayol trying to hit the break side.
Yeah, can't say too much more about that. Carayol herself clenches her fists and knows she let another one get away there. This point getting long, turnovers mounting. We've had 7 thus far. This
lovely heads up there from Ophiel Gavillet. I'll tell you what, she's ready and fired up. Swings round to Ouvry. Oh, but that's again, the lead passes downwind, just being smothered by the conditions. Wind fluttering the flags behind our fields. It's a really nice idea.
Timeout called, wise idea by Bordeaux. 8 turnovers into this one, and they're starting from their own end. I like the call.
Absolutely, and as they take a break on the pitch, so will we. We'll be right back after these messages.
For the first time ever, from the golden sandy blankets of Portimao, Portugal, BULA and ULTI.TV bring you the World Beach Ultimate Club Championship 2024. The best club teams in the world will converge on the Portuguese Algarve. With expectations for upwards of 150 teams, this promises to be a tournament worth bucket listing. Whether on the sands or watching the action from your screen, WBUCC 2024 is a tournament not to be missed.
Those who do not know their history can never relive it. The skies, the dives, the sideline smiles. Our past is held in photo albums, drinking stories. The present is a gift. And here at ULTI.TV, we want to make sure we always appreciate it, capturing the immortal moments of Ultimate from around the world and making sure everyone can enjoy them for free, forever. Because the future belongs to all of us.
Back on the beach out here in the women's division, we have our final placement games. It is Bordeaux versus Fly High, France versus Switzerland. It's a match where Bordeaux know they need to point at as many points as humanly possible and hope that their lucky stars are shining down on them. Because Yaka, if they can best their opponents, it will be Bordeaux knocked out of contention for quarterfinals and Yaka coming through. But a timeout in this rather grindy long point.
Lots at stake in this final round in the women's division. Of course, lots at stake from here on out now. I mean, a tournament like this, there's always something at stake, but bracket rounds coming up after this one. This one, so much left to dictate to see who goes through. Let's see how it all unfolds, Hanny.
Well, Cacaiola with the disc in hand, kind of really anchoring the offense for Bordeaux. Now, looking around for options, but miscommunication in the backspace. It's the hand that tried to clear, and a short field finally gifted. Barclay. High one, but well read by Gavier. Lefty around flick. Oh, and a quick pop into the end zone and a break for Fly High.
What a great timeout. That's what we call the time over there. And, you know, they had all the best intentions there, but whatever they were discussing did not get put into fruition. A very early turnover, a short field remained, and Lausanne made them pay there, made short work of the short field, and cashed in now. A 3-0 lead has disappeared. It's 3-2 now, and this is not what Bordeaux needs.
No, absolutely not. I tell you, one of the things that is the great advantage of Bordeaux is how many Amazonian athletes they've brought out here to Royan. They are a tall, tall line in these windy conditions. Unless Lausanne can do something a little bit more clinical with the disc when they're shooting upwind, I do see it falling in favor, at least for this point, in French hands.
Yeah, Zoé Forger, a big body out there. Bertudo, another big body out there. There's a handful of others. Carayol as well. You're absolutely right about that assessment. They've got some targets.
Sigayo immediately running off to the bank to collect a bag of swag, and the next point for Bordeaux. One pass ultimate, we love it.
Yeah, doesn't get much better than that. Huck and, well, Huck and score. I mean, Huck and hope. And when it counts, it's Huck and score. That's putting one on the board nice and easy. Get your defense back out on the field. Here's another look before they do that. Bertudo just well beyond her defender, and the throw on point.
Ah, yes, Bertudo. I, for some reason, thought there was a 6 on the back of her shirt. But, yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't even say that's a chuck it and hope. That's just a straight up, oh, you're giving her that many meters free, deep, and that height with the wind behind me? Oh, if anything, you've just got to maintain your composure and not throw that option too soon. But fantastic execution on the timing.
A member of the French national under-20 team that we saw do so well in Poland last year, making the finals and pushing the U.S. as far as U.S. has been pushed in a World Championship final in a long time.
Absolutely. It's a real shame not to see the French women in the under-24s division this year in Nottingham, but funds and time, you know, not unlimited resources for ultimate athletes, especially when you've got a very busy season already. This is great work, though, for Fly High. Good passes being threaded together. Unfortunately, Eloise Auvry, again, not quite able to connect with her teammates. That was some really promising flow from the Swiss. Fouquet picking us up. Forget trying to make her mark. Unable to remember who she's matching up with. Nice little squeaky break down the far sideline. A shot deep, hanging and well collected. It's another one for Zoe Forget.
Forget with the goal from Fouquet. Fouquet to Forget. And they are back on the board. And so since things got tight there, Bordeaux has flexed the muscles a little bit. 2 quick ones to respond. The deep shot before, this one just goes through 3 sets of hands before Coralie Fouquet, the stat leader for this team, puts another one on her tally sheet and gets ahead in the assist column once again. So 5-2 now for Bordeaux. This is more of what they're hoping for to try and get away with this.
Absolutely, and to be fair, you are making the correct pronunciation of Zoe Forget. Forget, sorry. Put my French brain on. So, Fouquet starting us off to Bordeaux, although it's a low release.
Well, switching from Polish brain to French brain to English brain, this gets tricky around here, I'll tell you.
Absolutely.
But we're happy for it.
Keeps us on our toes. Vindler with a decent chest pass in the wind and a lovely layout. Bit of swaz on that one. Throws the around break. It's good movement upfield, but all happening at once. That one.
Oh, tie goes to the offense. So, unless there is indisputable evidence that Berthaudot...
Oh, I think that's Vindler's, actually.
Yeah, I think, and it is.
Berthaudot has a fantastic wingspan, but was a little bit behind the battle. Oh, that one, though, going to be tipped off. Nearly collected and redeemed, but perhaps a bit of miscommunication, friendly fire. Stopping that, although I think we're going to get a little pause as Andres tries to just clear the sand granules from her eyes.
That could take a while. There's a lot of sand flying here and there. Berthaudot got a little bit of revenge there, getting a hand on that to smack away the D after having to succumb to the simultaneous catch, giving away to the offense.
Love that break from Fouquet. Just Forget realizing she's being given that underneath space. After the race goes Berthaudot, but good coverage from the defense. Forget being left all alone finds Fouquet. Bordeaux. Everyone else just casually sashaying into the end zone. Waiting, biding their time. That one's a little bit low, requires the layout, but nothing but air grasped by the palm.
Like the look from Fouquet, but she knows all too well she put too much on that. Still gets the effort out of a receiver. Micho does everything she can to make sure, well, that one's not on me. And another turnover there, 33. Can't squeeze her hand for Lausanne.
Bolavog there. Nice run deep, but just, I'd like to see that other hand a little bit closer to the disc to try and steady the ship. Fouquet looks around. I tell you what, there was zero attention being paid by the reset of Perrine Bertardot, caught sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't like that as a handler and trying to engage somebody in the dump space and the dump space still looking upfield.
Oh,
no.
confusion and a missed opportunity for the reclatch. Paula Vogt there just about eyeballing the disc, but with a half a second too late. Great turnaround, but this time Bertardot being given the task of the opening throw. That's absolutely gorgeous, but a bit of a misread from Noémie Michaud.
I don't mind that throw from Bertardot. She put a lot on it. She went tape to tape. She helps field position, and the intended receiver, even though overshot, was wide open. That one definitely worth the shot.
I reckon that could have been run down, but yeah, that wind speed behind us that's making it harder for Lausanne to pick up, as we see the pick-off by Coralie Fouquet and immediately getting it off to the fine Sigurlo. Oh, and look at that. Was that a toss pass? Was that a push pass? I don't know, whatever it was. It was casual, and I love it.
I think it was more of a pop than a push, but it was, yes, a very short-range pass. Forget to Fouquet. Those two, not the first time they've connected this game. I think in opposite order for their last score, but they don't mind. 6-2 is the score. Forget, I believe, has a brother, Enzo, who plays with the Frisbee club in Blois. And if not, they have the same last name and very similar body structures too, so that's my estimation of that one. A Frisbee family.
Well, I'm not precisely sure when our half-time expired, but I'm pretty sure we are at the half or thereabouts. Either way, fly high. Lausanne have been coming out with the disc on offense for the past couple of points in a row. So 6-2 the current score with very few minutes left on the clock. In reality, for Bordeaux to punch in as many goals as humanly possible. Nearly the run-through block from Labé. But Cuelca retaining possession and looking pretty boss. Just having a little chat about what number the disc is going to come back in on. So they finally do agree on the original number given with 6, but a violation as everyone after that rather long stoppage is quite keen to get back in play. Although, of course, technically the incorrect hand signal for violation, because you're supposed to clench one's fists so that you don't confuse it with any kind of score signalling.
I didn't know that much. Glad to hear.
Lehman with a fetching beachy visor finds Gavillet. Philly with the around break. Cuelca. Low pivot to get around. Back to Gavillet. Not too much movement in the end zone. Going to have to try and throw something creative. They do. Dus. Just standing on that goal line, trying to throw her teammate open. Has Gavillet at the back of the end zone, but unfortunately, again, that disc being pushed down when Lausanne try and score.
Yeah, trying to throw her open, but I'm not sure they had quite enough. I mean, the combination, not enough eye contact there. The throw went well before the receiver had a chance to move, and of course the throw just a little bit off as well.
Well, that one's such a high difficulty rating to try and execute. That kind of that wrist snap, the spin you have to generate on that kind of disc to get it to just hang out on a piece of string in that end zone with the wind against you. It's an adventurous choice.
Well,
Love it. Carayol. Labé now. This is lovely flow. Almost matriculated rhythm of this Bordeaux offense. little bit of pause there, a stumble catch into the end zone. Sand flying everywhere, but that'll do nicely. The 4th point in a row for Bordeaux. They extend their lead to 7-2.
And that'll take us to a halftime, as it's been doing all week, or all tournament long, all week long. It's been one day. Very short break for halftime. They're going to show the mirror image. Bordeaux getting exactly what they like, a nice big lead here. We're going to take a very short break and be back for second half action. Don't go anywhere.
Women's division pool action in front of us, and we have some throw as many points as you can on the board and hope for Bordeaux, who've had an up and down time of it so far in the pool stages. Women's pool A, of course, which is looking pretty wrapped up at the top, but this bottom section is fighting it out here on the sand. Great attack of that disc for André. Kick up, bon, Fouquet trying to snag that disc away from Florence Windler. Nice squeak up the line, Durand with the travel.
Speculative travel, but entitled to that call.
No, I agree with the mark. That was an extra step that seemed a bit gratuitous. Does it really get you that much advantage in the current field position? I'm not entirely sure, but that's a risky biscuit slicing over the top. And I do think Ideal André had that space, but maybe a step round the mark, but there was just too much clustering to really execute anything. But Fly High running out of time as they try and grab their first win of this tournament. They might have to wait a little bit longer to do it. Berthoudot, casual high toss to Forget, who sells the mark with a dynamic fake. Oh, slicey inside lead. That's lovely, but that is less so. A rocket trying to hit Perrine Berthoudot.
Had the receiver there. Berthoudot was open, had separation. Throw in the downwind. Obviously, you see those flags flying as the camera follows the disc, and the wind just gave a little too much push to that spin, and it those extra 3-4 meters were enough to make it sail away.
But a chance for Fly High. That one's going to require a low grab, though, and it cannot be connected with Florence Windler. Has to let it, but an injury call. Odile André needing a bit of time off. I think that sand she got in her eyes from the bid she's been making has just bested her a little bit. Hopefully she can grab some water. We do have a tap on the side of our show pitch, so actually she could go chuck her head under it, Stefan.
Yep, it's a great setup here, as is everything. The organization, magnificent. Great coordination between the BULA staff and the LOC here. Everything running smooth.
Resets required for Bordeaux. Tight match defense being applied by Fly High. They're not quite all firing on all cylinders when they have the disc in hand, but this is good work to just contain the flow of Bordeaux. High one from Fouquet. Clairon looking behind her, just focusing on Fouquet. Thankfully, one of those players you can just watch until they get free for you. Oh, and lovely shot over the top. Forget coming out from the deep space, emerging and clutching the 8th goal for Bordeaux.
Yeah, over the heads of everybody there, just close enough that people might think they can have a chance to swipe that one away, but well weighted by Fouquet. There it is again, just over the heads. And Forget, that is the at least 3rd time those two have connected for assist and goal. They are having a heck of a day playing catch with one another.
Well, and a heck of a tournament. You know, both up on the top of the scoreboard leaders for Bordeaux. So clearly those two have been connecting repeatedly over the course of this tournament. The second day here of action on the pitches, the beach here in Royan. Of course, finals day tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. But we still got all the quarterfinals and semis coming up until then.
I know, it's so good. We can't ask for more, really, can you? Well, apart from maybe more live stream pitches.
Don't force me. I could probably come up with a thing or two in my rider.
He always wants more, this man, always. But at the moment, there's going to be a call on the pitch as to whether that disc was up or down. It looked pretty close. Cynthia Dos.
We'll get another look. I think that's up for sure. Caught up and trailing edge went down. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm always happy to give it.
Retracted call on the pitch, so it's all good. Nobody needed our VAR, but we have it for you anyway. Ultimate fans. Dos with a throw sort of into the middle of the pack.
I think there might have been a blind D there just off the back of the number 99 shirt of Bordeaux to help the turnover.
Well, good early movement. Big poach off of the back. Lucien just happy to be like, yeah, we'll throw some negative yards. That's not a problem. That one pops out like a piece of toast in the morning, though.
Yeah, that is a great analogy. That one must have spun off a thumb or something there, because it went flipping the other way. What seemed like it should have just been locked in there. You see again.
Well,
Bloop.
A tricky one. Dumas having to make the layout to try and retain possession, but Gabriele looking strong as always in the centre field. Barclay. Big one into the space, but too much again. It's such a shame with Fly High Lausanne. They're putting some really nice ideas of leads. You can see what they're trying to recreate on the pitch, but they're just throwing too early. They're not throwing with enough touch, especially when they have the wind at their backs.
Yeah, that is absolutely spot on there. I mean, she was well set. Looked like the balance was there, but maybe it's either a little bit too ambitious or that's it. They're just not coming out the way they see them or not accounting for the elements.
Well, we do have two Swiss ultimate teams in the women's division at this club championships, but Switzerland not super known for its beaches. They obviously have some fantastic lakes, but no true coastline of their own.
No. Nice mountains, but that doesn't help in this sport.
So maybe too many grassy type throws, but that's a nice pick off by Cynthia Dus.
Speaking of big bodies out there, she's one that can counter a little bit of the size on the Bordeaux team.
Indeed, 181 centimeters tall. To give you those metric stats, because we are, of course, on mainland Europe. Big arcing flick, though, over the top, and Dus gives away the opportunity that she generated with that block. Again, you can see the cut emerges. The throws just aren't quite there. They've got great athletes for Fly High. Maybe that's something for them to work on when they get back home to Lausanne. Pauline Dumas looking around. Oh, I love that. The kind of doesn't like the opportunity given for the around break, and as the pivot comes out, that high pop over the mark shoulder. Beautiful thing. Labé swinging around. Lucina, that one a touch high, but well kept. Hélène Cochet now. Leading into the end zone. Oh, well, you can see Serbi Krelke behind the pack there. Is there a pick call?
Well, it sounds like it. And nope, now they're indicating that that's a goal. Yeah. Jenny Gauthier-Vallée really put the foot down there, put the gas on to get the late separation after she gave and then went. Gave and gone. There she goes. Look at that separation. 5 meters on the first step. And there you see the end result is that she is just wide and free to take that one-hander and cash in another goal.
Yeah, perhaps Gauthier Vallée is so free that someone got confused and thought there must have been something untoward happen, but I think just a straight up bit of flat-footedness from the defender. But as the players on the field take a timeout, we will get a break ourselves, but we'll be back after these messages.
The World Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024. Whether on the sands or watching the action from your screen, WBUCC 2024 is a tournament not to be missed.
Women's Pool A here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2023, and we have a dominant performance of Bordeaux over Fly High Lausanne, which should surprise nobody based on the pool results so far.
+7 is probably a score they would be happy to take if it ended with this thing, and then hope and see what is going on in that Yaka game that remains.
Well, a big shot into the deep space and a missed clap catch. Heloise Auvry had plenty of time to run that one down and did watch it into the hands, but just unlucky there. Perhaps a gust of wind catching the edge of the disc at the last moment. Well, Fouquet, oh, that's a nice look at the disc extending form of Zoe Forget, but she's going to want to forget that one. And a short field given to Fly High, which they may well need. Windler. Big flick around, but that's just going to hit the golden sand.
So, second time of asking now to break for Bordeaux. Fouquet will bring it into play.
Forget, nice lead, one a little bit low, but Fouquet able to just reach down. Oh, and that's a lovely shot!
Oh, no! Please stay in the hand, because that was something of exception. She had no business making any part of that play. Oh, and it's a ground strip, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, that's such a shame. The momentum that Forget had to generate to make herself anywhere in the region of that grab, unfortunately besting her as she collides with the sand.
Oh, that was so awesome. Such a shame that that awesomeness didn't count as a goal.
It's all right, Stefan. What we'll do is we'll put it in the highlights package, but we just will clip it a little bit short. Oh, well.
Now Windler doing her part.
One good grab deserves another. I'll tell you what, definitely Florence Windler has been one of the standout players for this Fly High side, putting herself all over the sand. Big one. Can it sit? No. Oh, there needs to be a second effort, maybe. No, just enough. But perhaps a little bit of lazy defense there from Zoe Forget.
Yeah, just a little bit, but she does enough to make up for her inability to make an exceptional play on one end, and she goes and gets the D on the other end. The block still credited in her name there, even though she could have caught it.
Well, that one's a little bit of a bridge too far to connect. Gauthier Vallée. No, Sigurd even. Sigurd. Windler, though, picking us up and getting us back in action. High arcing flick just over the defense. No, it's not. I tell you what, the vertical on Noémie Michaud cannot be underestimated.
Yeah, what a block there. I thought it was as well over the head of Michaud, but she got just inside the rim there and knocked that one away in the nick of time. Great play by the 88 shirt for Bordeaux.
Fouquet. fiery around. Sigoyo with the error. Durand, one into the space again. Fly high, not able to connect. And we're getting another really grindy point. Some of these points out here, Stefan, really stretching the edges. Bordeaux need to be a bit more conservative perhaps on their options and just patiently punch it in.
I don't think we're going to see that. I think they're going to jack it again. Oh. Unfortunate drop there by Forget.
Yeah, maybe it should have been a huck straight out the blocks to try and play the yards game. Windler finding Durand. This is still quite messy. Just trying to grind each other away. You can't just play too athletic, but that's a lovely throw at long last. And you can see the disappointment all over Coralie Fouquet. But of course, the result of this game is just important for Bordeaux to maintain their lead, which at this stage, I think they have a decent shot of doing. But the Casayetes-Yaka game is tight as it gets, Stefan, that will determine the ultimate fate of Bordeaux in this pool.
Dun, 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 dun. So Yaka up by 1. A win may just be enough. They will be enough.
And they have actually come from behind because Casayetes had the lead early doors. They stretched out 2 breaks in a row to make it 4-2. Of course, all the live results are available online, live.ebucc.eu, if you want to track the success and fates and commiserations of all of these teams. And massive thank you, as always, to all of the scorekeeping volunteers. They are not getting paid to stand under the burning suns here in Royan, but they are bringing you the live action as it happens, because we can't stream, unfortunately, every single game just yet.
Not without a little bit more patronage, of course.
Indeed, and if you want to make yourself a patron of Ultimate Coverage, do consider doing that. Or if you don't have any money and just want to spend some kilojoules, bang that like and subscribe function on YouTube.
Share some of our stuff, you know, on the socials. Let everybody know how much you love us. That's one way of doing it without spending any money even.
Yeah, it just takes a few calories, which I feel like most people can spare.
I certainly got a few to spare.
You can have some of Stefan's if you like. Oh, big shot. It might be a bit too much of a race down the bits there. Ah! And the goal is 2, emerging from the sand with the disc and look, Chenal.
I was nodding my head saying, no way, that's going in. Now that was a misinformed throw, and well, I was sorely wrong about that one. What a great catch up there. Left hand under, face full of sand. Great finish there for Chenal.
And that will be game for Bordeaux. 7-point score difference. Is it going to be enough? The Yaka Casayetes game is still ongoing in the pool A here. But I tell you what, finishing it off, there's been a lot of action from the youngsters of Bordeaux, but that's a little bit of a display in the last moments from one of their Masters age players. The rundown from Anne-Laure Chenal, putting that one in the bank.
Well, we'll be keeping our eyes locked. I'm sure you will too, to see what happens in that Yaka game, to see who advances. Otherwise, we are done with pool play. All divisions over and done with. Pool play finished. Brackets coming up, starting in the mixed division. An all French affair here on the French sands. RFO, the up-and-comers. Czech, the team that's been around doing it for a long time. 4th place finishers from last year. A cracker on our hands. Hannah will stay in the chair. Benji's going to jump in with her as we have one final look at these stats.
Yeah, and it really says it all. 25 turnovers for Fly High Lausanne. Bordeaux obviously do need to clean it up as well. They had 19 to their tally, but overall it was just a little bit too much to be overcome, especially after that early lead. But that'll wrap us up here for women's pool play on the live stream. As Stefan said, RFO versus Czech. I'm sure we'll get plenty of friends on our live stream in French for your francophone delectation. But for myself, Hannah Pendlebury, for Stefan Rapazzo, all of our hard-working ULTI.TV crew under the sun, we'll see you for the next one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.